Boomstick's movie reel on VGM Awesome.
It is that time. God damn you, Cypher! I love this track. It's so cool. Boomstick's movie reel on VGM Awesome.
Good evening.
Ross Wilson.
Hello, Matt Double V.
Ross Wilson has entered the arena. How's it going?
Player 2. Player 3.
Player 3 has entered the arena.
I'm doing very well.
Continue.
Doing very well, thank you, Matt Double V. How are
Good.
you?
You look very smart.
Thank you. Yeah, I came straight from work.
Big time
Well,
smart.
I mean, well, I dressed up for the show.
Of course.
That's what it is.
You always make an effort. Now, listen.
Yes.
None of this rubbish. How are you? How am I? Yeah, I'm fine. You look nice. Rubbish.
That was quite...
Straight to the point, okay? Prometheus.
Right, yes. So, let's set...
You're going to slate it, and I know you are.
You do, and I am. But the thing is, here's the thing. Here's a little bit of backstory, quickly, is that I've been looking forward to this film for a very long time.
How long?
I would say 6 to 8 months.
I thought you were going to say like a couple of years or something.
No. But the rumours went a bit crazy, and I was shirking them off because everyone kept saying it's not really a prequel. So don't worry, it's not an Alien prequel. And then it turns out it was an Alien prequel, and all of the excitement goes crazy. Internet went mental. Did you see some of the viral campaigns? I actually got a clip of one of them. So
what, for the film itself?
yeah, just internet marketing buzz creation.
Yeah.
One of them was a TED Talk. Have you ever come across TED Talks?
Well, you mean the thing with Guy Pearce?
Yeah,
and obviously David as well.
Yes.
Yeah, of course I've seen those. Yeah,
but TED Talks exist now. I mean, TED is a sort of an ideas forum where people give little lectures. But they set sort of a TED Talk in 2023.
Yeah.
And it's like TED's massive now, and
it was like in the
stadium.
It's in like Wembley Stadium. It's huge,
exactly.
huge.
So it's quite a nice twist on something that already exists. And it's a beautiful, well acted. Thing as well, like the video online was, just set me a buzzing.
Yeah,
and I was always just from then on. They had me
really
from Guy Pearce,
and then obviously the David thing came as well.
The David thing,
that was very good,
and it's just an incredibly clever marketing campaign. Apart from me just being an Aliens fan in general, like I was hooked.
And the website.
And they created a whole website, and it's all just beautifully wonderful for sci-fi fans.
So where did it go wrong, Boomstick? I know you're going to say when the film came out. Spillage.
Ooh, crafty. So no, where did it go wrong? Crofty, are you all right? I'm in the middle of something.
He's just chucking glasses.
That's right. Carry on, man.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah. So where did it go wrong? The thing is, I want to start off with some positive points because I am going to spend the rest of slating it. So let's get a few things off my chest. Okay. First of all, it is beautifully shot.
Yes, it's very well shot.
Cinematography is outstanding.
Set pieces are amazing.
Outstanding. I don't really know what you mean by set pieces.
Well, you know, just
like set design, like the different locations.
Well, the set pieces of the set. Right. I'm watching way too much football recently.
It's not free kick, dude.
Yeah. So the free kick was great. Yeah, I missed that bit actually, but yeah. So no, it's beautifully made. I mean, the sets are incredible. The money behind it is amazing, but I mean, they executed it excellently. The CGI was outstanding. It's very, as my friend Rob pointed out, there's like heavy influences from, say, Iron Man 2 in terms of some of the CGI embedded in the frame.
Okay.
But that's not a negative thing. It was just really well done. There's some beautifully intricate CGI in that whole film, which is incredible.
Okay.
And some of the action's incredible. There's on the surface. There's so many things that have gone right for it. All the casting, like a lot of the casting.
It had a very stellar cast, didn't it?
Great.
Probably too stellar.
Well,
maybe some unknowns would have been nice.
Some of the probably, but like it's such a great cast and there's so many amazing characters potentially in there to be explored. This is one of the things that again hyped me up and set me down because I felt like they didn't explore that. And here begins Ross's slate.
Okay, so the review starts now. Go.
Okay, so there's lots of characters in this.
Yes.
None of them really explored. Motivations of which are never really explained. The most interesting which and the most beautifully acted of which is clearly Michael Fassbender's David.
There's a bit of bruv love there for you.
Which I love him at the best and the worst of times. I think he's a wonderful, wonderful man and actor. And he was wonderful in this film, but there's nothing for him to explore. There's lots of motivations of him that are really dark and mysterious, and you want a little bit more exposition on them because you want to know what for me he was the driving force of the
Yeah, I think he certainly outshone quite a number, if not all of the principal cast for sure.
Absolutely. So I was really excited by all these characters, and I thought like Michael Fassbender's hands down wonderful anyway. And Charlize Theron is interesting, potentially, although her like character sort of kind of rubbed off a bit at the end. It's not, there's just so much unfinished business in this film.
Is that because there were too many characters to tell the story of? And obviously, there certainly was an element of backstory to all of the characters, but it was very kind of skimmed over, very brief.
In some ways, there wasn't enough time to explore these potentially really interesting characters.
Too much crammed in.
In other ways, I've seen other directors handle a whole plethora of characters and deal them with really well.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's really necessarily an excuse, particularly for a director like Ridley Scott. He's massively experienced. No excuse to be that sort of like heavy-handed with his characters. And here it comes. Really, my biggest gripe is the plot, or lack thereof. I
enjoyed the plot. I enjoyed the concept. Okay, I enjoyed the idea.
Be careful, spoilers here.
Yeah, okay.
I don't want to tread on your toes and
spoilers.
But like you have to see it for yourself, because it's a spectacle and needs to be seen on the big screen anyway. But for me, there are so many plot holes that I couldn't watch it without switching my brain on. Do you know what I mean? In terms of like, there's so much sci-fi you can switch your brain off and be like, okay, that's sci-fi, and I'm quite happy to be taken along in the ride in that. You know what? I'll let that one slide. I'll let that slide. Doesn't matter. And you can just kind of like, it's brilliantly conceived world, and you don't mind. You just suspend your disbelief. That's what great Hollywood does. And this for me just kept jarring. Loads and loads of things. It's like not just plot details. Like scene details. There's a moment, and we're trying not to spoil this, but like there's a moment where it's a pretty gruesome scene where Elizabeth Shaw.
Yes, I know what you mean. Horrendous.
I don't think this is a spoiler.
Well, let's just say...
Is it a spoiler? She does something... It is a horrifically gory scene that she's involved in.
And if you've seen the movie, you know which scene you're talking about.
Yes, exactly. Precisely. Which is an amazing scene, but it's graphic. And there's a bit leading up to it where she's escaping from two characters, and she kind of knocks them out and kind of doesn't. And then she gets to the stage where she goes around the corner after having a little tussle with them, probably knocked them out, maybe killed them, I don't know. And they stop pursuing her. In fact, everyone stops pursuing her.
Yeah.
No one cares about her. These characters actually fade into the wall and never come back into the film. Now, this might be because of some sort of gigantic director's cut that Ridley Scott has planned. However, I haven't seen this. This is not the one he showed in the film, in the cinema. I saw the 2 hours, 20-minute cut, and it does not make sense. There's so many bits like that where there's jarring bits cut out, or it wasn't filmed.
How could this have been made better then? Where did they go wrong? I know you sort of pointed this out, but how could it be made better?
Give them all, explore those characters. Maybe deal with a few less characters and deal with them better. I didn't see the purpose of bringing in all these superfluous characters. They seemed a bit aliensy.
No pun intended.
But it's not. Aliens has loads of characters in it, but they die off really quick because they're quite two-dimensional. It's fine, you don't mind. But if you've got loads of interesting characters, you want to find out why they're interesting. You want to be intrigued with them, and then you want to find a bit more about them. This is the discussion me and Crofty were having earlier today. Going back to the original Alien, because it was a new idea. There wasn't as much pressure. Maybe Ridley Scott was a bit more, for lack of a better word, more ballsy. He was more, kind of back against the wall, and he just wanted to sort of get this thing done. Yes.
But there was more exploration of the characters, but also I just felt I loved the film. I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed it. There were elements that were a little bit too Hollywoodized, like everything had a bit of an OTT sound effect to it. It just sounded, it was very sci-fi, whereas the original Alien, I could believe that happened, weirdly.
It's something really visceral about the first Alien.
But the big thing that got me, and I know you're going to back me up here, was the script. I did, after you saw it before I did, and you thought the script was a bit weak, and I saw that after I had spoken to you. And in the original, I'm very aware, or not aware, that it's lines that they're saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
When I was watching Prometheus, I was very aware that it was dialogue.
Yeah.
Whereas the Alien, they're talking about they don't get paid enough for the job they do. They're talking about this is rubbish food. It's very real.
It's very natural and it's well cast.
Yeah.
And there's lots of things. And Alien's just a tour de force in so many ways. But it is visceral. It is gritty, and it is characters who are believable. Whereas this has characters who are meant to be all scientists and are some of the most stupid scientists.
Well, they're not
I've
all scientists, though.
No, but some of them are hired hands who don't even question why they've slept for 2 years.
Yes.
To go to a job. They don't even. They wake up and they're introducing each other. That's the beginning of the film. They're introducing each other, which is not a spoiler, but I don't know how to go into hypersleep. I don't know, but I imagine if I'm sitting down next to someone into hypersleep going for 2 years, I'd probably say something like, "Hey, how's it going?" I'm Ross. I'll be sleeping next to you for 2 years. well, I guess catch up on the other side.
See you in a couple.
Yeah, see you in a couple. I don't know. I've never done it, so I don't know. But like, it seemed like all these characters were a bit superfluous, a bit like tagged on. And I was interested in David, and I was interested in
you're just captivated by him.
Guy
His performance is so strong. And also one other thing that I really felt was a bit weak. Going to the I think his name's, is it Rafe Spall, who was actually in Shaun of the Dead?
Yes.
He played the geologist. I can't remember his name now.
Yeah.
But again, there was little bits like when, well, again, spoiler alert, when he first interacts with a organism. Okay,
easy.
It's just a little bit false. I just don't think if you were in that position, you wouldn't do that.
Yeah, there were too many bits like that where there's a character doing something absolutely mind-numbingly stupid,
and it's just for Hollywood.
And it's just Hollywood, but it's also just like a lot of them are scientists, and a lot of them aren't. And if they are just hired hands and military men, they're not stupid, and they just do some like classic errors where you're screaming at the screen, going, "Don't do that! Obviously, don't touch that cobra-like alien."
I like Prometheus. I really liked it. The biggest problem I got with it is the script, like you said. Now, the script is written by a guy called Damon Lindelof. Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, who wrote Lost.
He obviously doesn't know how to end things.
Exactly. And that is one of my other biggest problems with Prometheus as well, is the end of Prometheus, which is pretty weak.
Yeah.
Pretty weak, and it doesn't lead in, like, I know it's not meant to be a prequel, but like, he's just announced there's going to be 2 more prequels. So it was a prequel. Or prequel. Yeah, a prequel. And you know what? I didn't sign up for that. I would have preferred a completely different story
Again, we'll come to a conclusion in a second, but we're going to go to a clip of this now, just to give you a bit of an idea as to, what to expect.
T.E. Lawrence, eponymously of Arabia, but very much an Englishman, favoured pinching a burning match between his fingers to put it out. When asked by his colleague, William Potter, to reveal his trick, how is it he so effectively extinguished the flame without hurting himself whatsoever, Lawrence just smiled and said, "The trick, Potter, is not minding it hurts."
Boomstick's Movie Reel on VGM. Awesome.
That snippet was, of course, from the TED marketing video,
exactly,
right?
Exactly that. It's the wonderfully played performance, but in Guy Pearce's like build up to the film. In fact, far superior to his actual in-film performance for me.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Which is disappointing. They cast Guy Pearce again to play the 50 years older Peter Wayland, and just slapped some prosthetics on him. It was a bit hammy, to be honest.
Yes, I did think that as well.
And also, there's a weird reveal of his character in this film. It's a bit silly and a bit superfluous.
Yeah, I mean, like, they only just brought him back for the beginning with the video thing, didn't they?
Sorry, yes.
Yeah,
because they only had him for the video conference at the beginning of the film. It was just ridiculous.
I just think
it is ridiculous.
I just think I'm so sold and I'm so beloved of the original idea and the concept. Certainly Alien and Aliens and maybe Alien 3, Resurrection I deny all knowledge of. But the first 3 I'm a huge fan of, and I love Ridley Scott. I love Blade Runner. I love all the more kind of mythological things he's done. Gladiator, fantastic film. And I think I'm so sold by the concept and the story and the idea. That's why I give it a bit of grace. I can see the holes in it. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I think your rating is going to be wrong, in my opinion. But I enjoyed the film. I thought it was great, and I think it's only going to get stronger. Let's not forget, we're talking about a guy, yes, he is Ridley Scott. He carries a lot of weight with his name. He's done nothing but fantastic movies, obviously, according to you, up to this point. But he's been out of the sci-fi game for some 31 years. Yeah. Maybe, it was a bit of a learning curve for him. And the films, the prequels are only going to get better with each one that he brings out. So we'll see in the next sort of few years.
Well, no, just a quick side note. Like, I think that, that's fair enough. Maybe he has been out of the game for a while in sci-fi, but it's no excuse for being so hammy with his plot and his characters. The character development was non-existent in some parts. And, if maybe there is a director's cut out there, and he's waiting to show us, and it's going to be on some super edition Blu-ray, and it's going to be 5 hours long, and it will explain everything, and it'll have some sort of it'll show the sex scene between Charlize Theron and show loads of cleavage. I don't know. I don't know.
You're hoping.
Well, we can only hope. But But I want those plot holes filled, and I don't know if he's ever gonna do it.
Okay, so to conclude, I've gone to complete silence here. I want people to hear this.
Plot holes include bear heavily on my decision. Story is paramount.
Okay,
fact, and as a result, I can't give this higher than 3 out of 10.
3 out of 10.
I was hoping for at least a 4.
But that hurts me more than most. You bear in mind how long I was looking forward to this.
I know, and you are a fan of Ridley too.
Massive fan of Ridley.
Massive fan. Okay,
It cuts me.
I'm disappointed in you, man.
I'm disappointed in him.
I feel a little bit dirty after hearing that. Actually, I need a shower now.
I don't understand.
Big time. Anyway, we'll be back in a few after a bit of Scott Pilgrim.
We are Sex Bob, and we're here to make